In fairy tales, witches always wear silly black hats and black cloaks, and they ride on broomsticks.
I'll let you my pretty, and your little dog too. Look, another glorious morning. Makes me sick. I'm an ugly old thing.
But this is not a fairy tale. This is about real witches.
Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
Listen very carefully. Never forget what is coming next.
The only way to get what you want is to come a human yourself.
Real witches dress in ordinary clothes and look very much like ordinary women.
Where have you been?
That is why they are so hard to catch.
Hi! Was that crap? I'll try again. Hello!
Hello!
What I mean is, tell me a story. And when I tell you to tell me a story, I really mean welcome home. Because my ears are the Airbnb on the holiday of your dreams, and when I say your dreams, I really mean my purpose. Because baby, if you're on a journey, then I'm your designated driver. Solid 5-star Uber review. You, passenger accomplice. Willing companion, synchronized compass northward on the highways of our histories. Have you ever rode the waltzer solo after stuffing your face full of fairground fodder and then you stand up and you try to go out through the in-gore, pushing at the pool gate, dizzy and sick, afterburn of life rising in your throat, earth rotation spinning between your ears? I have. A lot. Which is to say, I have a lot of experience standing still when the way we move through space is the smallest force track pushing me around. Put another way, I'm a good man in a storm. I'm good at floating. The water never gets above my head, only directly to, I will never let you drown. When the oceans of this world wash inward and carve coastlines to your front door, my body will be sandbag and sail. It's been a while since I've had to bail out the storm. I won't bail out on you. If you ask me, I'll carry you over every horizon, which is to say, I know I say a lot, I have said a lot, I know I talk too much, but I've swallowed down so many stories that didn't agree with me, I get tired of bringing up the past, so tell me one of yours. Lace your voice with starlight, because Christ knows I'm scared of the dark. When I say the dark, I mean the silence, and when I say the silence, I mean please, don't leave me. I don't want to be alone. Alone this girl falls in the forest, and who gives a shit if anyone's around to hear? Can you learn to love the garden when it looks like the underbrush? Looks like the darkest part of the fairy tale, the bit they leave out the movies. I'm not a princess or a warrior, not hero nor sidekick, not magic wand or spindle prick. I'm the witch they left out of the story. The mostly good kind. Who comes and goes by bubble and holds you as you cry. My magic can hold back the dark. I love you. My name is the backbone of your question mark. That thing you didn't know. Let's find out together. Hello. I can't wait to get to know you. That's the window. That's the floor. And that's another, no, that's the same window. No, is it? Where did the bits go? Well, you know what? This is the reason I failed the guides. I hate nature. It's a beautiful night, isn't it? I'm glad for your sake. It makes you appreciate it a whole lot more, the whole sunset thing. I don't know about you, but I'm busy, like, all the time. And I try not to be, but I also try to, be good at my full-time job and cook all my meals from scratch, exercise 3-ish times a week, drink enough water, get 8 hours of sleep, practice, hobbies, and maintain good family and friendship relationships and a healthy sex and social life. You know what? Yes, sometimes I confess. Sunsets pass me by. Not tonight, though. I hear we all have things to confess. That's fine, we're out here in the middle of nowhere, all alone, and I won't tell. But I'm not really alone, am I? Alone, this girl would fall in the forest, but of course, I make a sound. We all do. Let's get a rhythm going. Join in if your card says that you have a cat. Cat lovers. Join in if you talk to yourself. Join in if all your children are girls. Oh, stop. I wouldn't be so quick to confess that if I were you. It's not that long ago that would have been a death sentence, so we'll keep that quiet. But it's alright, like I said. There's no one out here but us, and no one can find you out here. I don't know if you can tell, but I was never really that outdoorsy. I think people who hill walk for fun are psychopaths. But sometimes you just have to get out of the city. I mean, this isn't even my tent. I mean, yes, technically it is my tent, but it's lived in my dad's garage for 3 years since he gave it to me after I apparently said I wanted to go camping more, like I've ever done it before in my life. To be fair to him though, he did try and teach me. My dad, I mean, lots of things like how to rewire a plug, and change the oil in my car, and change my tyres, and it's times like this I wish I listened. What's this for? Everything gets better with tea. Well, there's not much Dad could do here. I mean, he's handy, but he's no bare bloody grouse. I think I'm giving him a bad rap, my dad. My dad taught me loads of things, but I think the things that mostly stuck with me are the things that he learned from his mother, my granny, Kathy. Kathy is a storyteller unlike any other. She'd open her mouth to talk, and no matter where you were, you'd think you were here. Somewhere in the Scottish woodlands, sitting by a campfire, listening to a master word weaver. She had me. I was spellbound. I don't remember my earlier memories, but she is the sing-songs and the blankets and the tiny shoes, all at the same time. My grandmother never needed a campfire and an armchair to keep us listening intently at her feet. My grandmother stores stories in the folds of her skirt, straps them to her tiny heeled shoes and grasps them in her silkworm hands. When she can't sleep, my grandmother thinks of every street from Anderston Cross to Finniston and the people she used to know there. Anthony Street, McIntyre, Hyde Park Guest, Oak, Port, Lansfield, Elliot and Grey. My grandmother sings the old songs, the crooning ones like Ali Bally Bee and Daisy Daisy. I'm in primary 3 and the teacher asks, does anybody know the words? And my hand shoots up, desperate to impress, to let out all my grandmother instilled in me. It took me 20 years to figure out she taught me the wrong words. Instead of a romantic verse about marriage, a bicycle and a carriage, my version goes, Daisy, Daisy, what do you make of that? Upset the table and nearly killed the cat. The cat began to bubble, so I hit it with a shovel. It went to bed with a broken head and a face like a kangaroo. My grandmother tucks a wicked sense of humour up her sleeve with her handkerchief, hides a wicked smile behind her hands. She has all the time in the world for you to get the joke. And she's laughing still. If you don't laugh, she'll greet, she says, and there have been times when we've been left with nothing but the loss she lost. A home to a war that crept into her classroom. Lost a brother to illness, lost a sister in breast cancer, a husband to heart attack, lost teeth, lost weight, lost the protective tissue in the soles of her feet, but she still dances my cities, the museums and the galleries and the swimming pools and the libraries. My grandmother taught me how to be a library without ever opening a book. If I could, I would spend all my time untying the histories from her throat, photographing the maps worn into the soles of her feet. I wish I could make library of all that she is, because my grandmother is the city of Glasgow. She is laundry, steam breath and close tile artistry. She's the subway and the seagulls after your newspaper wrapped polka chips. She's the number 6 bus and Buchanan Street buskers. She's the shipyards and the shed. She's the spirit of the Clyde. She's whiskey and water. She is the pub. She is the old songs, the ones you apparently make up the words to, and I am the legacy of both grandmother and city, with giant shoes to fill. People make it, and it makes the people, from her to my father to me. So if you never get the chance to meet my grandmother, that's okay. Set your feet loose on the city of Glasgow and stop to listen. And there, in between the awful birdsong of screaming people, the traffic rumbling off the curbs, the symphony of Sucky Hall Street, you'll start to hear the old songs. And there, you will always find her. Start in Anderson Cross and work your way to Finniston. See who you meet along the way. Anthony, McIntyre, Hyde Park Guest, Oak, Port, Lansfield, Elliot and Gray. You know, my gran would be very proud, because this is the perfect place for a story, and I have an absolute belter for you. You don't seem to be going anywhere, so shall we? The year is 1727, and our story takes place in the Highlands of Scotland. In Dornoch, there lived a woman called Janet Horn, but everyone called her Jenny. Now, Jenny had a daughter who was born with twisted and deformed hands and feet. The village where the two women lived were always suspicious of Jenny and her strange, shy daughter. These suspicions turned to whisperings. I heard the girl's hands and feet are like cloven hoofs. I heard the devil himself shot the girl. I helped Jenny Horn by the light of the moon rode her own daughter's back up to meet with the devil himself. These whisperings turned into outrages by the time that Jenny herself was quite old. Don't you fucking dare. Jenny was put inside a tar barrel and set alight. They say at some accounts that as the fire rose higher, she stretched her arms out and said, smiling, that's a bonny warming, before the fire went higher and she burned alive. They searched for months, but they never found Jenny Horn's daughter. It's like she vanished. Less than a decade later, the practice of witch burning was outlawed in the UK, and to this day, Jenny Horn is still known as the last witch. It's an absolute belter. I've always loved stories about witches, ever since I was a kid, with Mildred Hubble in The Worst Witch. And then there was Glinda and Elphaba, Samantha and Sabrina, the Halliwell sisters, the Sanderson sisters, Willow, first girl crush. There's something about these women that just draw me in like nothing else. They just have so much power. But speaking of power, there's one woman that's been with me my whole life, and I owe her everything. Dear Hermione! When you first floated down the hallways of the Hogwarts Express, hair like one for me. Robes on, spells memorised, paying no attention to the boys with the dirty noses, broken glasses, or dead parents, because you knew what was important. Yes, Hermione, you knew you were there on the Hogwarts Express from platform 9 3/4 because you were magic. First year! Hermione Granger and the deductive reasoning that saves Harry's ass. You were so small but full of sass, Muggleborn and Gryffindor! Yes. You made your voice echo like a roar because bitches gotta know that it is Leviosa, not Leviosa. Second year, Hermione Granger, you know where this is going. Hermione Granger and the art of taking one for the team. You had to deal with racist, stupid people, a big dirty basilisk. You still solved the problem while you were petrified. Third year, Hermione Granger, and that brief time you were a Time Lord. Determined to fit all your learning into a little hourglass with so much class you refused to grass up Professor Lupin just for being a werewolf. Fourth year, Hermione Granger and the epiphany that you can be both hot and smart. You made it clear that you are no one's afterthought, only idiots leave you to be last resort. Fifth year, Hermione Granger, and that year you had to do literally everything because Harry Potter's a giant fucking emo. Dumbledore's army came to be because you gathered a small motley crew of others who knew the only way to do what was right was to be prepared to stand and fight. Her sixth year, Hermione Granger and the danger of copying someone else's homework. I mean, you told him, to be fair. Seventh year, Hermione Granger and the longest walk in the woods ever. Someone let Harry pick the route. Followed by a fight to the death, all in the name of what's good. You gave up everything for hope of a better world. You were always the best friend and never the girlfriend. Your first love was always books. You never had to change who you were in order to fit in, and in a world full of Bella Swans, I needed to hear that. Dear Hermione, you made this little girl sitting alone with a book in her lap. No, you can sit alone with a book in your lap and still be the hero of your story. Dear Hermione, you made this teenager understand that the only thing more important than your education is your bravery and your kindness. Dear Hermione, you made this woman understand that no matter how many of them come for you, there will always be daughters of witches that they forgot to burn. Dear Hermione, it's been 20 years and you still make me believe in magic. These everywhere with me, then yes, I do. It's getting a bit dark now. If only I could light a bloody fire. I'd suggest you sleep, but there's really not much hope for that, is there? I wouldn't be able to sleep either. It's okay. I'll stay up with you. I mean, it's not as if I've got anywhere to sleep, is it? I made this years ago. After uni, I backpacked to a bunch of places on my own. Australia and Canada, Fiji, New Zealand, Dubai, and instead of buying souvenirs and taking up much needed backpack space, I bought t-shirts and posted them home. When I got back, I put my meager sewing skills to the test and put them all together. I like to have it with me. It reminds me of a time that I was fearless. I don't really know what I'm doing here. I don't know, it just felt very Hermione Book 7, this wee adventure. The old Sarah would do something like this. Take off and go on a real adventure, only she wouldn't just stop like 40 minutes away from the city. She'd actually be off in pubs along the West Highland Way, talking to strangers and having lots of pints and just causing a whole lot of trouble. Well, not the old Sarah, quite the opposite actually, the young Sarah, the The 22-year-old? I don't really recognise her anymore. Don't get me wrong, see, if I wanted to, I could do it. I could pack my bags and just take off. There's so much of the world that I haven't seen yet. I'd start in Berlin and I'd just go from there, and I'd drive the car on the wrong side of the road and I'd meet people on the wrong side of the tracks, and we'd drink beer and swap colloquialisms like boggin and bobag. And I'd take hundreds of photos and I'd put all of them on Instagram with a really cringy hashtag Wanderlust. And I'd be sad that no matter what filter I used, it wouldn't come anywhere close to picking up the colours I was seeing with my eyes. I'd do all those things, but I have a job. I'm not that girl anymore. I've lost it. I've dimmed. Do you believe in ghosts? Is that prickling you sometimes get on the back of your neck or under your tongue anything you give a second thought to? The person you used to be? You know, sometimes I write women into being that come from a place that I don't have inside myself. Does your body ever ache with the need to be someone else? Does your body ever feel compelled to do something about it? Sit on the bed quietly. She'll come back when she's ready. Do you believe in me? On the nights you're a ghost in your own bed, and the summer heat creeps in the window, licks up the inside of your thighs and laughs at all your haunting, when all you are is burning. Don't forget to breathe. See, fire needs air to burn too, and this isn't your first time scorching. The summers here are few and far between, but when the heat comes, it can be suffocating, stuffing you into straitjacket stickiness and groping at your skin. It's okay to be missing him when you're in each other's warmth. On the nights everything is so close it pushes you away. Think of the thunderstorms you hold in your hands and their power to clear things. You see, sadness is a subtle phantom, slipping you out of your body before you've ever felt its possession. Remember, you are no one's possession. Remember that. When you're floating above yourself, you are the girl with the subway system beneath the surface of your city skin, always rushing, never sleeping, never stopping, so many places to be in. You begin to lose yourself in the dark. On the nights all the lights go off, do not be afraid. Think of all the places you went and the pieces of yourself that stayed. Remember, not every ghost has to die to get there, and not everything that dies has to stay dead. Breathe. Just breathe. Follow every subway line like it's the only story you have left, and burn. You're allowed to burn. Think of all the great things that happen when you do. The way your feet pound the pavement, the way your hips pound heads, and maybe your worst stories hide in the pages of your diaries. Remember, you're scary too, and not every fire has to bring the world to its knees. Sometimes, all it takes is a spark. So keep matches in your teeth and show them off in all of your smiles. Keep the heat in your heartbeat, grip it with your lightning hands, and feel your own power. Light up the room. Light up your home. Feel the wall shake under your tempest body. Ghost no more. Haunter no more. Somewhere, a girl with her heels in her hands runs to catch the last subway home. Somewhere, an old house creaks with the memories of times long gone. Someone lights a candle. Someone starts a campfire. A volcano stirs inside to shit themselves because they all thought it was long dead, and you lie in bed and breathe. The arms of the one who loves you most, who fans your flames with the flickers in his chest, who answers your forest fires with oceans, holds you a little tighter. cool breeze climbs in the window and the sky gets a little lighter. He grabs the duvet and pulls you both under, and outside the air starts to clear with the first rumble of thunder. Feel your own power. Hold it. Hold yourself together. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. I have always been afraid of the dark. I used to make my parents leave the hall light on and the door open just a little bit so I could see everything in the room. I was always so convinced that there was someone right there, that close to my face. I was meant to get less scared as I got older, not more. This is a time to be scared though, isn't it? I mean, what's to stop them from ramming down your cottage door? No, seriously, what's stopping them? It's them that try to limit, restrict your rights of what to do with your own body. They're the ones that ask what you were wearing, whether you were asking for it. They treat your reproductive system as a calling. If they get to decide that, then what else would they do? Why stop there? Do you think I'm being overdramatic? Paranoid. Hysterical. It's funny that hysterical, pardon the pun. Female hysteria used to be a common medical diagnosis for women. You were considered hysterical if you showed symptoms such as anxiety, nervousness, fainting, insomnia, loss of appetite for food or sex, or God forbid you showed you actually liked sex. Medically, if you had a tendency to cause trouble for others. It was categorized as a disease, even though female hysteria was, all the symptoms were synonymous with normal functioning female sexuality. In extreme cases, women would have been forced to enter an insane asylum or have undergone a surgical hysterectomy. Hysteria is known as something else now. Mass psychogenic illness. Put simply, it's when severe psychological pressures cause the body to exhibit physical symptoms. Put it another way. Smoke without fire. Stop me if you know this one. It's 1692 in British colonised Massachusetts. The communities of colonies that have been settling along the eastern shore are mainly strictly religious Puritans. One of the many reasons that the situations between the settlers and the Native Americans are at best tense, at worst violent. In a small village, a series of unfortunate events, some simple, such as a bad harvest and a particularly cruel winter, some not so simple, are about to bring an entire community to its knees. In the house of the not well-liked minister Samuel Paris, tensions run particularly high. One day, Samuel's 9-year-old daughter Elizabeth starts to make animal sounds, starts to twitch, starts to moan, starts to thrash about. She starts hiding under furniture like an abused animal, and she starts to scream. The very next day, her older cousin Abigail starts exhibiting the same symptoms. Now, because the physician can find nothing physically wrong with the girls, he's comfortable when he tells the community that the minister's niece and daughter have been touched by witchcraft. And it spreads. One by one, other women in the community start exhibiting similar symptoms, and they're quickly accused of witchcraft. Over 200 people are arrested, 20 are executed. I am of course talking about the Salem witch trials. All because two small girls were under so much pressure in their communities, in their homes, in their lives, they start having physical symptoms of that pressure. But it spreads. First Abigail and then other women in the community start to crack too. And it wasn't just Salem. Open any history book and you will find women struggling to survive. They weren't all so lucky. My name is Agnes Simpson. I'm a midwife. I was the first of 70 burned in the North Berwick witch trials. I was good at my job. I only delivered healthy babies. They were just all girls. It's 1590. I'm Anne Boleyn, queen for a time. They say it was witchcraft that turned Henry from the church. Witchcraft. They wouldn't know power if they saw it in a woman. It's 1536. My name is Agnes Simpson. I have a cat called Satan, but it was a joke. They said I defied God. I defied God and lay with the devil. I lay with the devil and curse their livestock? What? But they never tried me in a church. Oh no, they were too afraid to let their precious God see what they did to me. It's 1566. They were all beheaded or burned alive. And at sunrise, for what you have confessed, you'll join them. How dark does it have to get before we say enough? We are called witches for feeling each other's pain. And to make things worse, to make them feel better, they put the blame of all of it on us. Because we have a tendency to cause trouble for others. But that wouldn't happen now, right? This level of scapegoating and mass fear wouldn't happen now, would it? We're not just one girl screaming away from all hell breaking loose, right? You know, looking back at Jenny Horn's strangeness and her talking to herself, put along with her age, the reason they burned her is nothing more than symptoms of dementia. Hell has already broken loose. Domestic abuse. What were you wearing? College campus hunting ground? Blaming migrants for society's problems? Alabama. Northern Ireland. Boys will be boys. Real boys don't cry. Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Anti-vaxxers. Transphobia. Me too. Don't you dare tell me this is smoke without fire. We've been burning since the 16th fucking century. Are you scared yet? Is the tingling you feel on the back of your neck through to under your tongue, the bitter pill you cannot get your mouth to swallow, getting a taste of the medicine they are unwittingly force-feeding? Are you scared yet? Are you squashing it down? Deep and hidden and part of you, like the bones and the skeletons in your closet that you never put there. The ones with the eyes that still watch and stare, judge you everywhere. Are you scared of what will come out of the furniture at night if you ever dared tell? Are you scared yet? Is the ink you swill round your mouth fine as wine and fit for decanting to page to spill your fill of this truth turn to ash? Turn to gristle in your teeth? Turn to nothing? Turn to black hole? Making negative of the universe you held in your soul, or worse? Has it been siphoned out of your speech and into their pens, already rewriting the story that you hold in your veins? We all know how this one goes. It's a cautionary tale. Are you scared of letting go of your anger, your rage, the untamable tempest battering your rib cage. I've swallowed down so many stories that didn't agree with me. I get tired of bringing up the past. This burning in my throat is from when I swallowed coals, taken from the hearth of grandmother courage, and let it burn. It turned to poison. I got sick, I got better, I got stronger. Let them choke on the taste of what they made me, festering and broken and ripe for the picking. In the beginning, there was a blank page, bright eyes in a storybook age. By torchlight we hid, it did nothing to stop him. In the cupboards we hid, it did nothing to stop him. In darkness we hid, it did nothing to stop him. The only thing that did was a mouthful of courage. The spilled ink was mopped, the stain still on our lives for years. The truth swirled around our clever mouths. But now it's too late to let it come out. Are you scared yet? You should be. Because I rose from the ashes of all that you made me, and this time round I'm fireproof. I'm proof of what can happen when you rip down the walls and let the light in. Open the door, set the world to right in. The pit of my pain is the heart of my flame, and I will let it light you up. I am half the world. I am angry and tired, but you cannot keep me in the dark forever. I don't hide by torchlight anymore. This is the part of me that no one has ever seen before. And I'm sorry if it's hard to watch. But stories are powerful things, and while I have you, moth to flame, she's coming for you. I'm coming for you. We were all coming for you. We will have our revenge, and it starts right here with this. Just this. I'll never be afraid of you again. Ally bally bee, sitting on your mammy's knee, eating for a wee bobby, to buy some Coulter's candy. Mum used to sing me that song. You know, when I can't sleep, I like to imagine that I'm on an island long ago. I stand on the beach or on the cliff and look out at the water and want to be rescued and forgotten all at once. It's on nights like this that I try and remember all the songs that my mum sang to me when I was a baby to bring me back to myself. I love the water. It's just so big. It's the only thing that I'm terrified of that I still love. Well, not the only thing. I was 1 week early, which never happens to me. You know, it's always on the days that I wake up and think, you know what, I'm going to have sex today. That the universe throws a pie in my face or a mess in my pants and goes, ha! No. I was 1 week early. My mum never really had the chat with me, only handed me a book with a confident preteen on the cover and said, read this. And if you have any questions, come and talk to me. I smuggled it into school and showed it to everybody, and we howled at the cartoon scrotums, and then the word scrotum. And then we fell quiet when we saw what would happen to our bodies. I never asked my mum any questions, except one. What if I get pregnant? You know, by accident. What I meant was, should I tell you if I do? She never really gave me a real answer, but there must have been a chapter missing from that book, because I swear, like, it never told me to look for the day that boys become quiet and speak in code. It never told me that if your breasts grow beyond a certain size, they become public property, a monument to development. It never told me that growing up was going to be so damn hard, that your mind would grow with your body and experience pains of their own. It should have mentioned mental health and managing stress and peer pressure, and damn it, would it have been so hard in the section about periods when mentioning that when trying tampons for the first time, don't use the same ones your mother does the woman's had to her children, for Christ's sake. A little common fucking sense. I was 1 week early. In high school there was a she that was 2 weeks late, the right boy the wrong time, too young to play mother, too old to ask her mother to hold her hand. It should have been him. He who pitched a tent inside her self-worth and built them both a home, and instead it was me. And I was 30 seconds late, and breaking down the bathroom door as all it could have been just spilled down over her thighs and onto her hands. It wasn't the right time, but she was not wrong. They were not wrong. An impossible decision between that and the life she envisioned to herself. I said to my mother, if that ever happens to me, should I tell you? And she said, I'm the first person you tell. I stroked my hair as I cried for all the right choices that come at the wrong time and all the arms that never got to carry. They never told me growing up was going to be so damn hard. At a party, my dad's 60th, my cousin brought her newborn baby. Her name is Isla, and she floated through a sea of arms and aunties. No rocking disturbed her slumber, and she drifted into the port of my chest. And all the seas quieted, all eyes turned to me as someone said, that suits you. There were many 2 years too late, realizing I'm not port, not harbour, not resting place, nor lapping shore. I'm tempest and ocean. I rode, I compass point courage and adventure. I'm the captain, and I live my life with my arms outstretched, ready to catch everything that comes my way. These arms were not meant to shelter. And the wistful looks, turning my arms from sail into cradle, wrestle me to this love. This is how it is to love when you're a woman. Isn't this what you want? Isn't this what we wanted for you? Doesn't mother just suit you so damn well? I was 1 week early, and it wasn't the right time. I was 1 week early, and it was so different for me, so unusual for me, even felt different, sounded different, looked different. My usual side maybe telling me that I wasn't pregnant was maybe telling me that I was. Past tense. I'll never know for sure, but it wasn't the right time. I was born 1 day late, because my mum was due when she had tea in the park tickets. I was born into a world of music, and I have never stopped dancing. My mother taught me how to look after myself. My father taught me I will never be alone. My sister taught me how to be sister, be friend, be storyteller, and these are things that I think I can pass on, and I see her. She has all the music of her father, and she has my way with words. She is him and she is me. She will grow to be free to choose the label she wears for herself, and damn it, she will know that we all change, and she can do the same. So if she is called by the wind and sea and leaves me once again, empty harbour, I'll keep my love burning in the lighthouse. Wish her fair weather point her north and tell her never look back. She will be free as I am to make the choices that I want, weather my seas. We are connected by the oceans that boil under our skin. And I've been making waves my whole life. I'm not sure that's going to change anytime soon. I was 1 week early, 1 day late, one life inside this mind to give, and maybe she will only be beautiful possibility. My best story, maybe the best is yet to come, but if she does, she will be right on time. So I've been thinking a lot about Jenny Horne's daughter, the one that got away. Don't you think it's strange that she managed to escape a mob of angry villagers when all accounts of her say that she had twisted and misshapen hands and feet? She ran away? Really? You know, once I was at a writing class and I was reciting a poem that I knew by heart, and the teacher stopped me and says, "Wait, I don't believe you." Turns out if you just say the same words over and over again, they start to lose their meaning. Witch! 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 Doesn't sound like a word anymore, does it? Say the same lie over and over again and you eventually start to believe it's true. Have you ever heard a lie about yourself and been quick to believe it? I have. What if we were lied to? I mean, in high school it sucked for me. I was always told just keep your head down and they won't bother you, and it wasn't true. But it just stopped me from dressing how I wanted to, saying what I wanted to, being who I wanted to, for fear of persecution. We're taught to be so afraid of persecution for everything. You know, sometimes I like to imagine what would happen if something just disappeared overnight. For example, how many billion-pound industries would just fold if one day everyone woke up completely happy with the way they looked? Completely comfortable and confident with their faces, their bodies, and their hair. Hair dye, diet pills, shaping underwear, spray tans, all makeup, it would just disappear. Here's another one. What would happen if women all over the world woke up and were all of a sudden not afraid of everyday persecution just for being themselves? Imagine this. Jenny Horne's daughter came away and started a new life right here. Out here in the open and the wild, away from the whisperings. Think of what she could have become alone out here in this incredible place. I do know what I'm doing here. I always end up back here. Something always brings me back to this place where all our stories meet. If you ask me where I hail from, I will tell you from a place of giants, a place where the mountains were made by goddesses who carried them in their skirts, a place I carry with me through the grit in my spirit, the grit under my fingertips, the waters clean and cold lace around my mouth, fill my words with so much wonder, fill me with so much wilderness. Alapa. Her name tumbles off my spine until I'm standing straight. It tumbles off my tongue and knocks me off my feet. She leaves giant shoes to fill. My bare, unworthy feet kick up the dust of places they've never seen, but they could swear they remember. There's something in the whisper of the wind that's telling me to run. Run with all the strength in my legs, anywhere, everywhere, but never backwards, to see the sea and her carved coast neckline, praying for the kissing of rocks and sand, to live like no one is watching, like it's just us, to scream with abandon. She understands. There's a song in my veins. It sounds like the hills in the morning. It sounds like the rivers drumming their own thunder to answer the sky. It sounds like my grandmother humming in the quiet moment she thinks no one's around. It sounds like my grandfather playing the spoons, his whiskey fingers drumming out beats my father's chest inherited. It sounds like a story I was destined to hear. It sounds like a song lost to the years. If only I could find her. I'd ask her to me brave, to sing the song of the ancients, to raise this truth from its grave. And maybe I will never find the mountains or the goddesses who carry them in their skirts, for they don't belong in this world full of buses and coffee makers and collarless shirts, but this is still her land, where the wild women grow. And I can walk her roads, for they always lead me home, and I can sing the old songs, the ones we all forgot, that we know. Hysteria. Mass psychogenic illness. One person suffers and we all suffer together. Like when our periods sync up. What if it didn't have to be that way? What if, instead of hysteria being physical symptoms of mass psychological pressure, hysteria was physical symptoms of mass psychological well-being? What if the act of lifting each other up sparked joy in us and made us feel better, gave us the physical strength to get through the day? What if our shared joy was enough to get through all the shit we've been through before? All the darkness. What if we felt our own power and we shared it? Wouldn't that be magical? I have a confession to make here tonight. Jenny Horn wasn't actually the last witch. History forgot about another. Away from the speculation and fear, Jenny Horn's daughter's life became one of beauty, prosperity, and power. And she passed those lessons on to her daughter, and her daughter, and her daughter. Her descendants, many and mighty, are around us everywhere. You see them on the streets or on the bus. They're serving tables and they're teaching children. They are fitness instructors, they're mathematicians, they're filmmakers, they're poets. They are in this room tonight. You all brought your confessions in this room tonight, things they would have burned you for. I have something to tell you. They don't burn people at the stake anymore! That stopped with Jenny 300 years ago, so why are we still living our lives like they're going to batter down our cottage doors and burn us in a tar barrel? The things they would have burned you for are the things that make you special, make you powerful. My power comes from my words. It comes from being inspired and uplifted by the people around me every day. My power comes from you, and I celebrate every spark of magic that I have, and you should do the same. You! What does your card say?
I talk to myself.
What?
I talk to myself.
This person talks to herself! Always remember the things that they would have burned you for, the things that make you special, make you powerful. Hold on to that thing tight. It's the line of power that draws us all together. It's the spark that can set the world on fire. I went back to the beginning and found all the answers I was looking for in your faces. Felt so much power in your presence. There's a curse that lies on all of us. You can hear it in cracked hip bones and tiny first cries. You can feel it in your shoulders and your back, in the soles of your feet. But this is not the old magic. This is just the brick by brick building their heaven. We built our vocabulary around the walls around us, learned to call it home, but this is not the old magic. The old magic is out here in the wild. It found a way to survive the hurled brick by brick. It uprooted, trusted itself to the wind, and took seed in our chests. We carry it everywhere. We are the guardians of her mother and her mother, and every cracked hip they tried to rebrand a stolen rib. The story changes over time. The truth remains the same. Good or bad, I will believe you. Believe me. They will still try to come for you. Use your bloody body as inkwell. Use your feathers to rewrite, retell. But remember, no one page can ever hold your subway map plot lines. You can hold power lines. Have them send you on a journey. No manuscript in the embers will ever erase our story. And we will never be afraid of fire again. We are the women with matches in our teeth and gunpowder chests. We are harbours and stitches. We are new moons and fresh starts. We are family. We are witches! We know the stakes are high, but being loved by us is so damn magical. We've come a long way to this wonderful, and it's not perfect. In fact, it is so damn hard to bleed kindness from your chest full of smoke and ember. Remember, it doesn't matter if you're a roaring flame or a cigarette kiss, a musket wet or infernal grip, for we all perfected the art of rising from the ashes before they ever thought to use it against us. Go light up every room. Go through this life scorching. Sometimes all it takes is a spark. And that's all we ever need. Take it. Light it up. Burn.